Republicans in the U.S. House want to impose Medicaid work requirements and get rid of taxes on tips and overtime. News 8 government reporter Garrett Bergquist talks to one lawmaker involved in those discussions for this week's episode of All Indiana Politics.
The House plan would require Medicaid users to work or volunteer at least 80 hours per month. This comes after Indiana imposed its own state-level work requirements. It also eliminates federal income taxes on tips and overtime. That was a campaign promise from President Donald Trump. Congressman Rudy Yakum tells me most people who get paid tips and overtime will be eligible.
Well, there'll be some level of higher level income caps. But for the most part, you'll be able to take a deduction for tips and for things like working overtime. So we want to encourage people to get up and go to work every day and to do so with more money in their pockets. I mean, that's really the point of not only those two provisions, but many, many other provisions that we've included in this tax package.
Now, the Energy and Commerce Committee voted to impose work requirements on Medicaid users. Now, you are not a member of that committee. Some Republicans in both chambers already say they will not support the bill if that provision stays in. Will you vote for the bill in its current form if that Medicaid work requirement stays in?
I absolutely support work requirements for Medicaid. If you're an able-bodied adult that's able to go to work, the federal government should not be paying for Medicaid for you to not to go to work. You should have to go out and look for a job. This shouldn't be controversial. It's just common sense.
Are the potential savings worth the potential impact to some Medicaid users? And could this potentially end up leading to more expenses on the back end from people using emergency rooms?
You know, Medicaid work requirements alone are projected to save over $300 billion in this program. At the end of the day, we all know that the federal government is quite bloated and needs to be right-sized. We've got $37 trillion in federal debt. We've got to start right-sizing our federal government. That's what the American people voted for. That's why we're making a lot of these reforms.
You can see much more of that interview, plus a conversation with Congressman Andre Carson on the air traffic control crisis this Sunday on All Indiana Politics. It airs at 9:30 in the morning, right here on Wish TV. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.